This is the video that I wish existed back when I used to look for DIY gifts to make for people. And no, I don't have a boyfriend, Auntie. Stop watching. Hi, hello, and welcome back to a little bit of everything with Lava. You know, I think Valentine's Day is one of the biggest scams ever. I feel like the only days that deserve money spending, if you want to spend money, are a couple's anniversary and then their individual birthdays. Because Valentine's Day isn't special to anyone, it's just another regular day where you're pretty much forced to spend money on overpriced gifts. Like, why are single roses $10? But you know, that could just be me. I feel like a cheap homemade gift could go a really long way for Valentine's Day. Unless you're with someone who's only with you for the money and the gifts that you buy them, in which case you should probably rethink your relationship. So some or most of these gifts are not super original and things you've never seen before, but I just wanted to put together a compilation of gifts that I personally and some guys that I know would love to receive for Valentine's Day. The people that came here for the gifts probably already skipped past this part, but let's get into the video. So the first thing I have is a Photocube. You can get infinity cubes that are already assembled at the dollar store, but in case you only had individual ones, this is how you assemble them. In total, you need 8 cubes. So you put 2 together, tape them, and then flip them over and tape again. After doing that 4 times, you put them together like so, and flip it over and do some more taping. Then you're pretty much done. If some pieces feel a little wonky or flimsy, you can tape them on the other side too. And then you're gonna need 10 pictures. You're gonna have 2 rectangle pictures and 8 square pictures. I only printed 1 rectangle and 3 squares because I wasn't making this cube for anyone right now. The dimensions I used for the squares was 5.96 by 6.14 centimeters. For the rectangle, I used 5.96 times 11.83 centimeters. So you would fold the paper into 4 equal pieces and cut it. And I suggest pasting it one by one. I'm using tape, but you should use liquid glue. It works best. Or if you have double-sided tape, I think you can use that too. I've tried to do it the other way around and paste the picture on and then cut it while it's on the cube, but it kind of got messy, so I suggest cutting it first. And then if the corners start peeling, you could use tape over the picture and then use your fingers or nails to push the bubbles out of the tape, and then it'll look like the tape isn't there anymore while also making the cube shinier. And then you have a nice cube. Honestly, after it's fully covered, it looks really cute. If you were to buy one of these, it's a whole $40 or more depending on where you're getting it from. But this didn't even cost me $5. But if you're too lazy for that or can't get a hold of some cubes, I have another idea for you. All you need is a sheet of paper and some pictures. They can be rectangles, squares, whatever. All you have to do is fold the paper as many times as you can and then cut the pictures in half and then stick the halves onto the paper so that every time you fold, a new picture is completed. And at the end, where you only have one half, you could put a message or whatever. I just wrote I love you because that's all I could think of, but yeah. The paper I used was short, so I was only able to put 2 pictures. But obviously, if you use a longer paper, you could make more folds and then add more pictures on top. And obviously make it prettier, like maybe use nicer paper or make the pictures long so that they fit the entire thing. Or you can color along the sides of the paper, whatever comes to mind. I don't think it gets cheaper or easier than this. Moving on, here are some different types of hearts that you can make as either decoration or additional items in your present or your main present if you want to. So we're gonna start with the hardest one. They're all relatively easy, but this one just requires a little bit more time and supplies. So all you're gonna need is 3 regular balloons and some yarn. You can blow them to whatever size you'd like depending on how big you want your heart to be. Make sure that one of them is smaller than the other 2 so that you can place it for the bottom V shape of the heart. So you take the large ones and put them together like the top half of the heart, and then you take the small one and stick it in between, and you tape it all together, making this really questionable shape. Don't worry about how the balloons look because we're gonna pop them at the end and pull them out. So then you have to take yarn of whatever color you'd like and dip it in some glue. I don't think I used enough glue, to be honest, so you should try to get it as wet as possible so that when it dries, it'll be really hard and it'll hold its shape. So yeah, wrap it until you're satisfied. Tie the end string to one that's already there and then let it dry. Once it's dry, just carefully pop the balloons and then pull them out. After you're done that, you can do whatever you want with it. I kind of just stuck my Christmas lights in there. It doesn't really show properly right now because it's sunny outside, but in the darkness it looks pretty cool, like the entire thing's glowing. Or you can stuff it up with cotton and make it like an extra cushion or a pillow. And obviously you can spin the yarn as many times as you want depending on how much you want to see holes through the heart, or if you want the entire thing to be covered. Or if you don't want to get your hands messy with glue and want something simpler to make, here's how you make a yarn heart using cardboard. So you draw a heart onto cardboard and cut it up, and then tie the yarn to it. Make sure you give it a few knots so that it doesn't come off, and you just keep wrapping until the cardboard's fully covered. And I feel like you can do so many things with it. You can make it a garland by hanging multiple in one row. You can just attach a string to the top and let it hang from your ceiling. You can put it on a stick and then make multiple and make a bouquet out of it. Or if you're trying to make a chocolate box, you can stick them in between so that it adds more color to your present. But if you don't have yarn at all and that's your problem, you can also make a bunch of different types of hearts out of paper. You can make these really cute, small, and easy hearts in a matter of less than a minute. All you need is a strip of paper. So you fold it in this triangle shape until whatever thickness you want it to be, and then cut off the end, and then maybe cut around the edges a little bit so that the flap fits properly, and you stick it in so that it secures the shape. You cut off 2 of the edges of the triangle in a small curve, and then you just have to give the middle a little push and you have a nice 3D paper heart. Or there's also many different types of larger origami hearts that you can also make. I won't be able to fit tutorials for all of those in this video, but there are plenty of tutorials for origami hearts on YouTube already, so you should definitely go check those out. Now here are some things you could do with old frame glass. First, we have this very original idea of mine, the Spotify glass art thing. I know it's been everywhere, but I wanted to put it in here because I see that it's selling for anywhere between $18 to $50, and I just wanted to show you guys how easy it is to make. All you need is some old frame glass, a printed picture of whatever you'd like, and a Spotify code if you want. So you cut the picture out and stick it on. You can either stick the code on like this, or if you're feeling super inspired, you can draw it out at the top on your own. And then you put a heart in the bottom corner for the like button, and then make the line underneath with the dot and write the times at the bottom. And then the shuffle sign and replay sign, and then the rewind, forward, and the play or pause button. And then you write the title of whatever song you'd like and the artist right underneath, and you're done. Now the next one, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to put it in here because I really underestimated how frustrating and hard it could get. So here's a warning. You should probably not give this a go unless you have some sort of painting ability, or if you're a really patient person. Pretty much what you do is you draw the picture inverted to the back of the glass. If you don't have the ability to do that, then choose the image you want, invert it, trace it onto paper, and then tape it to your glass so that it doesn't move, and then trace it on the glass with a Sharpie. Afterwards, you figure out the top layer of color. So in my case, it was the shadows, the eyes, the blush, and the pink part of the ears. So I painted those first. So after that was fully dried, I went over with the main colors, white and then gray for the cats, and then pretty much it was done. So this was actually my first attempt at painting on frame glass. Please don't try to rush through this, it won't end well. On the topic of painting though, here's some ideas of cartoons you can manipulate to look like you and your significant other. You can paint it on a glass, a canvas, or just a piece of paper, or if you're more of a tech person, then you could probably Photoshop it as well. The last actual tutorial I have is actually one that I learned from Generation DIY, and that's DIY stickers. So you print out the picture that you'd like, and then you take tape, and you can layer 2 pieces of tape if it's not thick enough, and you put it over the picture, and then you use your nails to push out all of the bubbles. Unfortunately though, for the next step, you do need a laser printer, so if you don't have one, you kind of just gotta cut the tape at this point and stick it like that. I mean, it's still a sticker of your picture. But if you did print this picture on a laser printer, take your tape and picture and let it soak in some water for about 3 minutes. Once that's done, take it out of the water and slowly rub your finger on the back and roll the paper off. Don't use your nails or go too hard because you'll end up taking the glue off the tape and it won't stick after. I kind of just tried sticking the sticker I made onto this mug. It actually turned out really cute. I don't think it'll last a few washes though, because it is tape. But if you're putting it onto something that you just have as decoration and something that doesn't go in the wash, it'll probably last forever. I also realized that you can technically iron it onto clothes so that it sticks really nicely, but at the same time it can also peel off, so you can't exactly make clothes out of it that can go in the wash and stuff. I used medium heat while ironing it and it worked fine, but if something goes wrong and your house burns down, it's not on me. So you could play a joke on someone without actually ruining the item of clothing. You could make stickers of your face and iron it onto a pair of boxers and then peel it off before you wash it again. Just saying. Now, here's some other ideas that I felt like didn't really need a tutorial. So, number 1, you could print a picture of yourselves and then frame it. I know it sounds really simple, but it could actually make someone really happy. Or you can put together for them an album or scrapbook of all of your favorite memories and pictures. Number 2, you can make a box or a jar full of letters, notes, or date ideas for them. My friends made me this a few years ago and I still have it. I put flowers in it and I kind of just use it as decoration. If you don't want to do tiny notes on sticky notes or whatever, you can also make a bunch of letters and roll them up and then tie them up with ribbon like this. Number 3, you can make so many things out of fake flowers. I know real flowers smell better and they feel better, but they rot in a while, and instead you can make something for someone that'll last them a lifetime. For example, you can make a flower box like this out of a bunch of different types of plastic flowers. Or if you're into origami, you can make them a bouquet of origami flowers. There's so many different types of origami flowers that you can make. And if you're worried about the smell, just spray it with some perfume. And there you go. You have a bouquet or a box of flowers for so much cheaper. Number 4, I felt like I couldn't make a video like this without including this one. I'm sure you've all seen this before. It's the layered box thing. I've never actually made one, but pretty much I think all you need is a few different sized boxes, and then you cut the sides of the boxes so that it opens, and make sure the boxes have lids. And then you just stick in pictures and whatever you want onto it so that every time you open it, more pictures come out. Lastly, here's 2 online ideas for the people who either don't have any supplies at home, or they can't see the person that they're trying to gift on Valentine's Day, or those with strict parents, because this way you won't have to hide in your closet while making the gift, and you won't have to have a heart attack every time someone opens your door. So the first one is that you can make a collage or a poster of some sort using Canva with all of your pictures and nice stuff. It's completely free, and Canva has some really cool fonts and stickers and stuff. Some of them you need money for, but the free stuff is really good on its own. So I feel like you can create something really nice. You can also make them a video or a TikTok of all of your memories and pictures and videos, and you could have your favorite song playing in the background. At the end of the day, even if it isn't all that, it'll still make them smile. You know, honestly, even if you don't have a significant other, you should go make something for someone. I feel like we could all use some love, and any sort of thing to show someone that you still think about them and you still care about them will probably go a long way and make them feel at least a little bit less alone. And that brings me to the end of my video. If you stayed till this point, comment paintbrush. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week in another episode of A Little Bit of Everything with Lava. Bye!